Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. So today let us understand the combination of Jupiter and Mars. One planet is for method, theory, lot of wisdom, knowledge, money. That is Jupiter. Dhanakaraka, Putrakaraka also, progeny. The other planet, that Mars, is for aggressiveness, masculinity, muscles, strong will, perseverance, persistence, commitment, logic, blood, and uh, to taste good, tasty foods. They like tasty foods. So, when these two planets come together, let's see what actually happens. We all know that Jupiter gives benefic results when it is placed in the second, the fifth, the seventh, the ninth, the 11th, sometimes the 10th house also. The 7th and the 10th, Jupiter will also give trouble. But most of the times, we usually tell that being the Karaka of the second house, being the Karaka of the fifth house, and also the Karaka of the ninth house, Jupiter gives money, Dhanasthana Adipati gives Dhanakaraka, gives money. Being Putrasthana Adipati, Putra Karaka, in the fifth house, it might give some difficulties like Karako Bhavanashaya, but being Jnana Karaka, the planet for higher knowledge, it gives excellent knowledge. The planet for righteousness, lot of wisdom, the ninth lord from the Kalapurusha, being the lord of Sagittarius, will give excellent results when it is in the ninth house in the Bhagyasthana. Come to Mars. Mars gives excellent results. This is a generalistic view. If people ask me that if it's a malefic in the third house, then what will it do? So that's a different issue, because we should not go into peculiar charts or particular charts now. We are talking about generalistic view. Mars in the third house, it gives very good results. 3, 6, 10, and 11. These are Upachaya sthanas, and in these places, Mars gives excellent results. Particularly, Mars is very good when it is placed in the sixth house. And why? Because they are fearless. They don't get intimidated so fast. So let us see, when these two fellows join together, what they will do. The nature of a person, naturally, because of Jupiter, always is like not to suddenly get into conflict or a fight. He would always be like, one step behind, and always wants to see what's happening, wants to judge it, and he wants to go through the whole thing. So he has patience and needs time. But when it joins with Mars, and if Mars is ahead of Jupiter, see, now I am trying to put in these 2 points whenever I am talking about combinations, which I did not do earlier. But please try to understand that I can't give you the advanced topics immediately, but we will talk about all these things for other planets also in the later classes. But now, if Mars has taken the lead, if Mars is ahead of Jupiter in this combination, that is, if Mars is at 26 degrees, for example, and Jupiter is at 22 degrees, so that means Jupiter is behind, Mars is ahead. So when we see that Mars is a fast moving planet and Jupiter is a very slow moving planet compared to Mars, so Mars will act first in this combination. Like, for example, if, as I told you, Jupiter is very judgmental, he takes time, he would want to read the whole book before he actually comes to a decision. Mars does not need all that much of time. Mars is spontaneous, he jumps into action. So he will, decide very fast. without any much of thinking. If it is an Aries Mars, and if it is close to Aries, if it is close to Scorpio, very logical. Mars is very logical, but it is fast. It is not that Mars is taking a wrong decision, but it is fast. So when this combination happens, Mars gets the background of wisdom. Along with that spontaneity of Mars in decision making, Mars gets the background of wisdom, that is Jupiter. This particular combination is an extremely good combination for a person to become an advocate. So he can be a very good advocate. He can be calm in tense moments. So Mars behind Jupiter, he will be very calm. You can't make out that he has any aggression, because he has that control. The Jupiter has the control over Mars now, because Mars is a fast moving planet coming and joining Jupiter. It is behind Jupiter. But if it is a planet which is ahead of Jupiter, then the person will be more spontaneous and he will be fast in decision making, and sometimes he can falter if you have a bad planet's influence over this combination. So they love animal husbandry as a business, like dairy farming, poultry farming, sheep farming. They love this animal husbandry. They understand this as a business. They also get into huge industries, trucks, real estate business, because Mars is Earth and Jupiter is development. So he does a lot of development when he is along with Mars. And they can get into big foreign exchange, forex related business, because Jupiter is for finance. Economy of a whole country comes under Jupiter, any country. So when Mars is there along with Jupiter, they get into marketing it. So how does a country market its product? Through foreign trade, import and export. So these people can be very good in import and export. They are good in FMCG, that is food manufacturing, and the whole packed food industry needs approval, and that comes under FMCG, and the whole thing can come under this particular combination. So I'll give you another important topic here. We need some explanation. Jupiter is a guru. So, what is the meaning of a guru? The one who shows you the light and shows you, light to your path when you are in darkness. The one who guides you from darkness towards light. That is the meaning of guru. And Mars has another name, commander, a fighter. So, a person who can do hard work, menial work. He can dig the earth, he can get into any sort of hard work, and they don't have any, they don't have any prejudice as to that we need to do only this, we need to be white collared, or we need to be this particular color. They are not worried about whether it is white, blue, or black, or brown, or pink, whatever the color is. They will do their job. So Mars is a very tough, physically tough planet. And Jupiter does not want to move around at all, because he's a guru. Guru means he's like a teacher. He's like a preacher who wants to tell advice. He wants to give advice. He wants to give you a sermon, but he does not want to get involved in all these things. He would want to give you the knowledge. But Mars with Jupiter, it will make a person like a professor work, a workaholic professor, let us call him. Now, not a simple Jupiter would be like he is an excellent professor but not fully involved in the project. But Mars with Jupiter, this guy will be extraordinary. So he will love physical work with being very knowledgeable and having a lot of wisdom. So, when we understand the physical nature of Jupiter, more of mass, a bulky body, heavy weight, very healthy looking person. But when the Mars adds on to this particular combination, and if it is placed in the ascendant, which actually represents the body, he will be a bodybuilder, wrestler, um, person who is into martial arts, very good in physics. So the other things, well, small things I have just written down here, like I just made a very small demarcation of Mars and Jupiter with regard to their lordships, sign lordships, not the house lordship. Aries Mars is loud, aggressive, and tries to show off. See the difference. A Scorpio Mars is more mute, silent, or with very less sound, very patient, and waits for its turn, and persistent. They will never give up. So if you take, if you offend the Aries Mars, you will get it then and there. Fast food, he will serve it there only. So he doesn't like you, he will give it back to you there. But a Scorpio Mars has more logic. He will assess the situation, and if it is not conducive for a fight or conducive for some altercation, he will not do anything there. He will silently back out. He will wait for the moment and tell me he is more dangerous. So, a Sagittarius Jupiter is a very hard-working Jupiter. They can do odd works in odd hours. They'll do a lot of research. They like to work continuously, so they don't need too much of rest. I'll give you some examples, like a chef working on a cruise. If you have ever gone into a cruise line, or a chef being on a ship with 2,500 or 3,000 passengers, it's a very tough job. So, but they do it 24 bar 7. So this is Sagittarius Jupiter. And going to Pisces Jupiter is a loving, affectionate, caring Jupiter. They are very good mothers and very good fathers, because they love, and they are motherly attitude, very dreamy, highly academic. So they are peace loving people, Pisces people. So now, if a peace loving people, person like a Pisces Jupiter is mixing along with a loud, aggressive Aries Mars and placed in Aries, because it is very close to Pisces and it is placed in Aries. So not I'm not taking the Gemini rule that a further a planet moves away from its own sign is gives more strength to the sign which is away from it. I'm not taking that rule, but still I'm just giving you a combination here. It will make a person a teacher, a preacher, a trainer, because his voice has to be loud. Mantra, chanting mantras, very vocal. He can be a very good artist. He can be a percussionist. He can be a musician. Wherever there is sound and it is related to his business profession, percussionist, a beautiful, he can have a band himself. So what I'm trying to tell here is, you need to logically mix the karakatwas, significations of both Jupiter and Mars. There's a lot of karakatwas of Jupiter and Mars. I'll be coming out with another video for this particular combination, but as on date, I'll be only uploading this and then I'll be moving ahead. So whenever I can do advanced level combinations, then I'll be able to.
What about placed in triksthanas or kendras or trikonas?
No, we have not gone into this advanced level of combinations of planets in different houses. You do that, it will go to thousands of videos. But we can give a small snapshot on these things. I'm just thinking of making shorts on this, but I don't know why I should get into the thing of doing video shorts. I don't know how good it might be accepted, because I don't like that concept of trying to put in some concept of astrology in 2 minutes. Thumb rules, no, still I don't like that concept. But anyway, let me see. The at last, coming to the point which my wife just hinted, this particular combination, if it is there in the third house, the sixth house, the 10th house, and the 11th house, Mars takes the lead. If it is in the second house, the fifth house, the seventh house, and the ninth house, Jupiter takes the lead. So, this is very important to understand. Keeping in mind that both are very nearby, not too ahead or not too behind each other, because
what is the best difference of these two planets to function well?
See, the orb of influence has to be understood here. So, we give like 8 degrees to Mars and 9 degrees to Jupiter. So, if both of them are very equally powerful, so 8 degrees to 9 degrees would be the optimum level. And above that, it will start coming down. You prorata calculation, you should prorate it, and it can come down to zero somewhere at around 15 or 16 degrees or 17 degrees, because 8 and 9, if you add, you get 17. But 8 plus 9 divided by 2, you get 8.5. That would be optimum, where the 100% line will start ending. And anyway, 1 degree, 2 degrees, if it is not in war, but still, friends, why will they go in a war, for a war? They will very happily give very good results to certain ascendants, not all ascendants, certain ascendants. Thank you very much for today's class.